Enough! Leave Catherine alone! How could William let stricken Catherine take the fall for this ugly Photoshop scandal? She's globally humiliated, and now the Sussex trolls are adding to her pain. Hello, and a very warm welcome back to Kate Middleton and the Queen YouTube channel. Well, I guess congratulations to everybody who ruined Mother's Day for the Princess of Wales. I sure do hope that you're happy with yourselves. I mean, a youngish mother posts a beautiful photo of herself surrounded by her beautiful children. And instead of saying, "Oh, well, that's sweet," you pour over it like insane sleuths for signs of photoshopping. And the end result is that the mother in question has to issue an apology for doing something that wasn't wrong on Mother's Day. I think everybody involved with this whole mess needs to just get off the internet for good. I mean, the fixation on that photo of Catherine and her 3 kids has become completely unhinged. It is still on the front pages of so many papers. How could the palace let this happen? How could they let her take the fall? I swear, not since the moon landing have there been so many conspiracies swirling around a photo's authenticity. Just a simple family shot of Catherine with her 3 kids. Now, it was meant to quiet the rumors about her health and her status, and it has been exposed as a fraud. I mean, it is the most epic Photoshop fail of the century, and it certainly is the biggest PR blunder for the royal family in years. Mere hours after the release of the photos, news agencies all around the globe announced that they were killing the photo because it was obviously inauthentic, 16 errors and counting. And instead of dispelling rumors about Catherine's health, the concerns have only gotten more wild about what the photo's inauthenticity may suggest. That she's so incredibly sick that releasing an unedited photo wasn't an option. That's one of them. But I think the worst part of all this is that it gave Harry and Meghan's fans an opening that they certainly took. I mean, Meghan could never do that. This isn't a mistake Meghan would ever make. That came from a source close to Harry and Meghan who spoke with Page 6. And as always, Scooby-Doo Omid Scobie offered his unsolicited and unwanted opinion on social media. He wrote, "With the palace's long history of lying, covering up, it's becoming increasingly difficult for the public to believe a word and now photo they share." And then Scooby-Doo went on to claim that regaining the trust of the media and public broken by this Photoshop fail would be, quote, "an almost impossible task." God, how dramatic can he be? Like Harry and Meghan are the models of trust and integrity. Give me a break. And it sounds like Meghan Markle, the queen of privacy, is at it again. After a short break from the spotlight, she is back and worse than ever. And now she has appointed a PR genius to help resurrect her image in the UK. Honestly, though, I'm not surprised that Harry and Meghan are setting their sights back on Britain. They were, let's remember, dubbed Hollywood's biggest losers at the end of last year. So Meghan has hired an as-yet unnamed professional PR expert to help overcome her popularity problem in Britain. And whatever poor sucker accepted this position is also going to have to spend some time working with Harry and Meghan's Artwell Foundation. Now, you may remember, this is the very company that produced Meghan's Archetypes podcast series, which ran for an entire season after it was cut less than a year after Spotify spent £15.6 million on it. So, the new hire is going to start work while Harry considers returning to the UK. There is speculation that Harry might be interested in stepping back into a royal role while his father receives treatment for his cancer. Okay, well, the monarchy is smaller than what it used to be. The number of working royals is seriously slimmed down. And the king has halted his work. The Princess of Wales is still recovering from surgery. William, the Prince of Wales, has taken some time off to support Catherine, and Camilla's taking a week off too. So it looks like Harry saw an opportunity. One PR exec told the Mail the Sussexes have a popularity problem and can see there is an opportunity to step in to fill a vacuum over here with their own work. Britain is still a very important place for Meghan to have a presence, he said. He went on to say that her British audience would love her looks and fashion sensibility. Okay, well, only time will tell how this latest Sussex attempt is going to go down. Is professional help really what Meghan has been missing all along? Is that it? Or could this be a case of too little too late? Okay, so back to the main story. Even as Catherine is suffering right now, this battle that's instigated by Meghan Markle, of course, of transatlantic one-upmanship carries on. Making things more complicated, of course, was the apology issued on Monday by Catherine. So she wrote a message minimizing her skill set and making her sound like an idiot. I mean, she is an incredibly dignified woman. She's going to be queen someday. She shouldn't have had to write a message like that. She wrote, like many amateur photographers, I do occasionally experiment with photo editing. I don't believe for 1 second that's really what happened here. So let's dissect that just a little bit, shall we? Catherine was an art history graduate. She has been her family's unofficial photographer since her first child was born a decade ago. I think it's pretty safe to assume that Catherine knows all about composition, lighting, color theory, and stuff like that. But here she's reduced to referring to herself as an amateur who experimented, and not very well at that. It's important to read the wording here. So Catherine wrote, I wanted to express my apologies for any confusion the family photograph we shared yesterday caused. That we is important here. She did not do this alone. A release like that has to go through so many different layers, aides, private secretaries, possibly even the king. And it seems to me like somebody would have or should have at least advised against releasing a phony image. And it seems to me like this very bad idea could only have been executed by somebody who was never going to accept no for an answer. So where exactly is Prince William? Why didn't he take the fall? After all, this photo was supposedly taken by him. And even if nobody believed that he was the one behind this Photoshop, well, most of us definitely don't believe that it was Catherine. Catherine cannot drive. According to William, she couldn't even watch this year's BAFTA-nominated films. He would have earned a lot of respect for standing in front of Catherine and taking the blame. But instead, it's silence coming from him. And instead, Catherine was dragged out yesterday. She was photographed sitting next to William in the back of a car. Her face was turned away from the camera and she was facing a brick wall. Now, to me, that looked like defiance. Catherine has really never done anything wrong in her time with the royals. She signed up for the job and she has never shown anything but a good attitude towards her duties. Let's remember, this is the same woman who had to stand before a bunch of photographers just hours after giving birth, looking beautiful. But obviously, she refused to play along this time. And it looks like this Photoshop was designed to Bigfoot the amateur photo that has sent the world reeling. Nobody out there believes that Catherine is the cause of this mess. Why should she have to give up more of her privacy at what is obviously a very difficult, vulnerable time for her to correct a mistake that William never should have allowed? After all, William does have a sophisticated understanding of how the media functions. It's part of his destiny. It was shaped by a mother who manipulated the media all the time. There's no reason whatsoever for Catherine and William to be traveling together on Monday. In fact, her car was following closely behind. Now, he was off to a Commonwealth service at Westminster Abbey, and she was going to a private appointment, one that would have been much more private if she hadn't joined him in that Range Rover. And royal sources are pushing this insulting, patronizing narrative that poor Catherine simply didn't understand what she was doing. On top of being physically unwell, now supposedly Catherine is really upset over single-handedly causing such disruption. One royal source told the Telegraph awful was how Catherine was feeling about all this. Her intention was only to make the image the best it can be, but now feels that honesty is the best policy and she must own up. It makes Catherine sound incredibly simple, and she's not like that. And also, I'm hearing a little bit of misogyny as well. Oh, that little woman who tried her very best, but she didn't know what she was doing, so of course she messed it all up. Can anybody imagine Charles making Camilla take the fall like that? If William and Catherine's older kids are not seeing this controversy all over the place online, I'm sure they're hearing about it in school. That their sick mother, it's all her fault. It's such a disgrace. Let's remember, Catherine is the future of the crown. She is the Windsor's most beautiful, amazing asset, one who has a lot of global goodwill. If the thinking was that her popularity meant that she could afford to take the fall, how awful! And it was a real miscalculation. The photo's metadata shows that it was saved 2 times in Adobe Photoshop. Now, Adobe Photoshop is sophisticated software that an amateur like Catherine wouldn't really know how to use. The first saved version was time-stamped 9:54 p.m. on Friday, March 8th. Does anybody believe the unwell Catherine was sitting up close to 10 o'clock at night messing around with this photo? In a rare interview from 2020, Catherine discussed her approach to photography. And guess what? It doesn't fit with this very edited family photo. She said, "One of the fantastic things about photography is it's really capturing that moment. So it's not stage setting, it's not setting it up perfectly, it's not clearing your house away so you've got the perfect studio setup, but it's really capturing those moments that feel real to you." I mean, if she hasn't always given us her real self, Catherine has certainly always given us her best self. William, of all people, should realize how difficult that is. And now it's her hour of need, and it's on the future king, not Catherine, to fix this mess. And you, do you agree with this opinion? Let me know below in the comments section, and we can also discuss your thoughts and feelings. If you think my video is helpful, don't be afraid to like and share it with anybody else who would love it anytime you want. And please subscribe to our Kate Middleton and the Queen channel to get more updates in the future. Thank you so much for watching, goodbye, and I'll be back to see you in the next videos.